All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday afternoon at the Media Communications BS Hour. You may hear a different voice today. Our illustrious host, Mr. Jason Gillette, is on a brief hiatus while he prepares the exciting gaming and transmedia course. So if you'd like to hear Jason's broadcast, I'm sure it can be found on Second Life at the moment or some other alternate reality. In the meantime, my name is Rene Otero. I'm teaching the Intro to Media Communications course, and it is my pleasure to host you guys on today, April 16th, 2014. How are we doing, Robert? We okay?
We're doing good.
Okay. So in the booth with me, I have Robert Wowo, our engineer, and Kathy Craven. And we have our staff logging in from all across the state as usual, and many of our online and on-campus students also logged in. Welcome to everybody. So we're going to start out with a little bit of media in the news. It has been quite an entertaining news media week. First, we'll start off with a small little segment with just an ad campaign that caught our attention this week. Maxwell House has come out with a new anti-Starbucks, if you will, type of campaign. They've decided that, okay, you've got Starbucks doing their thing, dominating the world of coffee. You've got hipster coffee houses that are cooler than Starbucks and charging more than Starbucks. So they decided that they're just going to be good instead of great. So they've have this kind of most interesting man in the world type of character, except I think in their case they're going for least interesting man in the world. And he's going to kind of enjoy his cup of coffee, and at the end he inhales and goes, "That's great. You're good now." Good. So we're just amused with that one. And of course, as with any campaign these days, it is going on Twitter following at a good coffee, and they're going to entertain you with all kinds of coffee related kind of Chuck Norris type humor about very average coffee. So their target audience, we're thinking, is kind of middle-aged, not really concerned about hipster coffee culture, and they probably will do pretty well with this. So congrats to them, and we'll see what happens and how long this campaign keeps going. Way more entertaining, however, is what happened on Twitter this week. What was happening on Twitter this week was that there was a lot of attention being paid to the Pulitzer Prize, and we in media communications should always pay attention to the Pulitzer Prize, since they're the predominant awards in our field and writing and journalism and all these things. But all of a sudden, in the middle of Pulitzer Blitz, one of what is being called the worst tweet ever went out, and this was U.S. Airways. Customer service. We've talked before about how it's really a powerful way to get customer service from a company. You can publicly call them instead of kind of waiting on hold. You tweet at them, and you get a response because you've kind of put the company on the spot, and people are watching and listening. So they'll reply, and maybe you'll get what you want. So there was a lady this week who tweeted at U.S. Airways. And the reply was something along the lines of, we'll handle it, and we hope you enjoy your flight. And attached to that was one of the most shocking pictures that you'll ever see. Do not Google this picture, whatever you do. So anyways, so
that's not an invitation.
Yes, no, not at all. There are many edited and cleaned up versions of the picture. So of course, Twitter explodes. Basically, the picture featured a woman and a plane in a compromising position, very compromising position. A plane very much like this model here. And so Twitter explodes in reaction, and a lot of very, very funny ones. These are some of the more kind of family-friendly versions. Somebody just put a picture of themselves and said, "I'm actually aboard the U.S. Airways plane. Wi-Fi still working, and everyone's pretty chill." And then the other one, obviously referencing the blow-up doll guy from Airplane. and who put him in charge of it. You can follow the wormhole of some kind of U.S. Airways tweet reactions if you want to see some of the other ones. This was somebody put in a metric of what happened to Pulitzer Prize conversation while the U.S. Airways explosion was happening, and basically they knocked it right out of the top of the trends. Then one young lady put in this little tweet. Just imagine if you viewed at U.S. Airways tweet via Google
so
Glass.
Which,
Oh my gosh.
But, I just thought that was a great transition to our next topic, because yesterday, for the first time, Google Glass, for the first and only time as of right now, Google Glass became available to the public. So they had previously had kind of a beta tester, very secret, you're either in or you're not, kind of like when they first rolled out Gmail and people were carefully guarding their invitations. So a few people had it, and they had beta testers and explorers out there piloting it. But yesterday on tax day, they said, okay, you can use your refund for this, and they opened it up for sale for 1 day, and I think it was $1,500 for the basic rig, and then you could choose a free accessory, like a frame of glasses like this young lady's wearing, or shades or whatever. There are a couple of different styles. But obviously a great way to get exposure while still maintaining a little bit of that social currency of being an insider, because if you missed the news or just your refund wasn't big enough and you just couldn't bite the bullet yesterday, then now apparently you're out for a little while, and we're going to get to watch these early adopters basically provide free marketing from Google all over the country. So going to have some fun with that. Let me see. I'm looking at the chat feed. We have somebody who thinks Shannon's got a friend who's always talking. She thinks she's talking to him, but is always just talking to the glasses. And I believe we have one that's coming close to home to staff. So we'll have an opportunity to play with that in the near future, hopefully, and we'll see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to. Maybe it can become part of the MCBS hour. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, that'd be awesome. And maybe Shannon will actually could be on the Google Glass and talk to you at the same time.
And her neighbor. It can be all one big happy.
I see this immersive technology thing happening.
John's
that's right.
John,
the immersive technology.
John's
Robert's
developing
all about
the Google contact lens, which I think
all right. That sounds painful, John.
Nice. All right. So that wraps up our media in the news and leads us into Kathy's Corner.
Woo!
Yes,
It's so great to be here. We're very excited about our new host, Renee, this week. And Jason is, as he said, taking a well-deserved hiatus to prepare his amazing gaming and transmedia storytelling campus class. He's already launched that online one, but he's pulling it together is more complicated than you might think. And these guys work really hard to do that. So we're glad he's taken that time to do that. And glad to have Renee on board with his awesomeness. So, but I wanted to chat a little bit today with the folks that participated in the DCBS TV. If you guys remember, last week we had Bill Cavan on the show in Kathy's Corner talking about the training that was coming up this week, the DCBS TV training, which is the webcast live stream work that they do over in the studio. So he talked about that and then made it happen this week. So we have some folks in the house today that participated. And I know that Clayson and Donovan and Casey did participate. Now, if anybody is here that participated that I didn't just list, please feel free to talk as well. But I definitely wanted to hear from anybody who is in the audience right now who did participate. I know Clayson and Donovan and Casey did. And what's really cool about having Casey in this conversation, too, is that Casey is an online student, and she came over here from St. Pete. And so we always love it when we can blend these two worlds into one world. And this is a great example of that happening. So are you there, Clayson?
I am.
He's there. All right.
It took me a while to unmute, but yes,
That's
I am
okay.
here.
I know the unmuting process. So, yeah, I gave Phyllis, his instructor, very strict instructions that I was to hear their voices today. So I'm glad to hear your voice.
Well, here I am.
Yay. Nice. All right. And Donovan, are you there? I hear him. I hear him somewhere.
Walking up to the
He's
mic.
coming to the mic. Here he comes. I know it. I know that sound. I'm almost going as fast as he can.
We're so close together.
He's so close. Let's go. In the meantime, Casey, are you there?
I am.
Oh, there's Casey.
right.
Now she's coming in loud and clear.
Hi.
Are you in St. Pete?
Yes.
Okay,
I am.
fantastic. All right. So I'm going to, now, like I said, if there's anybody else who's in the audience who participated yesterday, please let me know. I can see in the picture we have also Ivan who participated as well. Maybe some others.
And Bridget.
And Bridget. I was thinking that was Bridget's
Yep.
long hair there in that chair. So you guys you shout it out and let me know. Tell me a little bit about what the experience was like for you. We can start with you, Casey.
Okay, great. It was an awesome experience. I mean, well, it started out a little rough. I show up, I have no idea where I'm at, where I'm going, or anything, which is my own fault. I should have done a little bit more research, but oh well.
You found it, though.
I finally found it, and to be honest, I really had no idea what to expect, what it was even for. I knew it was a web production training, but I kind of just thought it was going to be like an extra class or whatever. I really didn't know we were being trained to produce the show. And so showing up late didn't help. I was kind of lost, but I figured it out. And after some questions, and they probably thought I was crazy, but anyways, I figured it out, what we were there for, and it was a great experience. It was very very educational. I have a little bit of background in production and of that kind, and so I kind of knew a little bit of what they were talking about, and I like that kind of stuff. So it was fun, and I was excited to learn from them. They were very, obviously very professional group, and anyways, they did a fantastic job.
That's really great to hear. Yeah, that DCBS team is just fantastic. I can't say enough good about them. They're great. I knew you guys would be in good hands. And so, Casey, like I said, Casey's an online student, but came over here. What was it like for you to get to interact on campus with the campus students?
It was fun. I wish I could be there more often. But I think, I was talking to them, and I feel good about, making a once a week commitment to driving over, and
great.
so I'm excited about that.
Good.
And getting to be a part more often.
That's great. We really, really want you guys to find ways to bring your worlds together, and also not just for you to be the one that has to come over here all the time, but there's lots of ways for you guys to connect virtually as well. I don't know if they talked about, if there is, if you guys did put together a live stream broadcast or something, somebody's going to have to be a producer that manages the chat window, that helps do the research for the show. There's a lot of things that online students can do too. So
we did talk about that.
Good. What did you guys have any ideas around that?
I sat in the the producers group and went over that checklist and everything, and there was a lot that I could do from here, and even attend some of the production meetings maybe virtually, and
Great.
He even talked about doing some marketing and that sort of thing, which are all things that I can do from here. So
that's great to hear, Casey. That's what we love. That's awesome. All right, so Clayson and Donovan, what did you guys get out of the experience? Was it different than you thought? What did you walk away with?
I think it was actually exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was very stressful what Donovan and I were doing. You couldn't really pay attention to anything but what you were doing, which is kind of cool. I actually kind of like being stressed out.
Were you doing the
I don't know,
switching?
weird. Yeah, I was doing the switching.
So tell the audience what does that mean? What did you
Basically, you're the guy that well, switches between like the cameras, and you're the one that, you know, brings up the graphics and, you know, stuff like that. And you have the director barking over your shoulder saying, ready this, ready that, give me this, give me that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's not a boring job, is it?
No.
You have to be on your toes. Is this what you're doing here in the picture as well?
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
So it's stressful. You definitely have to be on your toes, high adrenaline. So would you do it again?
I would love to do it again.
You can't get enough
I would
of that.
love to. Yeah, I didn't want to leave.
Clayson seems like a mild-mannered kind of guy, but really he's a stress junkie. That's great. What's the next step for you, Clayson, with this?
I don't know. I'd love to go back not only if, but you know, if the rest of the Media Bonkers crew is going back, I would love to go with them.
Yeah.
Whenever that may be.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Try out different things.
Did this do anything for you to kind of solidify any more about kind of a direction that you like to go with your media career?
Not at all.
Not yet. We're not there yet. That's okay.
No,
I kind of expected
nope.
that, but I just thought I'd check. Clayson likes everything, so he doesn't know which one he's going to land on, but that's just very cool. No problem with that. Donovan, did you make it to the mic?
Right.
There you are. I hear you. So what was it like for you? Tell us a little bit about your experience.
For me, I got to do the graphics generator.
Oh, okay.
A lot less stressful than Clayson's job.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as bad. Got to do the video switching before Clayson, just to set her up.
Yeah.
That was quite. So I got very feedback.
All right, cool. Is this something you would do again?
Is it something you would do again?
Yes, it would be something I'd
Definitely you want to do it again. Okay. I thought maybe you were thinking about it. Weren't sure. That's okay. And, you know, really, I do want to say to you, everyone, you know, it is so awesome to go ahead and just try different things. And you may try something and say, ooh, that just definitely wasn't for me. And that's okay. And that will just only help you to narrow in on the direction that you want to go. So it doesn't always have to, it's not a wash. It's not a loss if the experience was not something that's, you know, sings for you. You can always just then check that off your list and move on to something else. So, but I'm glad you guys had a good experience. Did I miss anybody? Was there anybody there? What about faculty? Are there any faculty that were there that had any comments about the experience?
I think it was awesome to see the students just engage, and I mean Clayton's face as he was doing his directing part. What was it? Whatever he was doing, the switching.
Yeah.
It was awesome because it is a rush, and it just brought me back to when I used to do that stuff, and I was like, it is a rush. And when you're done, you're like, I can't believe I did all that. So, and Ivan, I mean, I sat with Ivan in the producing segment of it, and the one that Casey did. And it was great. I mean, so much of it I saw in project management. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about my class for a second. No, but seriously, it had a lot of the different things where I would look over him. I'm like, that's scope creep. That's scope.
Yeah.
This is why you have a timeline. This is what, you know, so it was because he kept laughing because we had just gone over all of that last week and this week.
Great.
So it was cool to see it kind of in action in a production.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
You can apply it immediately.
Yeah,
project management has to do with pretty much anything we teach in this program for sure. Yep. What about anybody else? Was there any other faculty there?
Is Phyllis on here? Because she was running the camera. Go, Phyllis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, Phyllis is actually in class teaching, so she may be walking over and swiping Clayson's mic as we speak. But
she's trying to talk, but it's not letting her talk.
Oh, man.
Hold on, he's running a computer to her.
All right. We're all kinds
it's
of problems
going to say
being
Clayson,
solved.
but it's not really Clayson.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, we're having audio problems.
We have no idea.
Oh, we can hear you now,
okay,
though,
so I'm
Phyllis.
just going to talk. We're having all kinds
go
of
for
audio
it.
issues. But I got to run the camera, and I would encourage anybody who has any interest in doing camera work to give that a try. The cameras are, you know, they're pretty complicated, but they'll run you through the necessary elements that you need to know to actually operate the camera, and it's really cool to have headphones on and hear what's going on in the control room and being directed by the director and just being a part of the whole experience. So even if you're not really interested in camera work, you know, it's pretty cool to try. So
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
Good. Yeah, it's so important to just try different parts of a production so that you, even if you ran the camera sometime, actually this is really important, you run a camera but you're really an editor, you're going to be a better editor, and vice versa as well. So in any parts of the production, you're good at whatever it is your niche is, even if that thing you're practicing that day isn't what you do all the time. So great. I'm glad everybody was open and was able to have a great experience. So looking forward to seeing how this pans out in the future and where you guys might take this. Never know. So, but thanks everybody. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks Casey for driving over. And I'm really glad you guys had that conversation about how the online students can get involved. And I'd like to, any online students that are here today that are listening, email me and ask me if you're interested how you might get involved as well. So we'll get you hooked up as well. All right, guys, it was great talking with you.
Great. Thank you, everybody. And this is going to bring us to one of our favorite segments. Oh, hashtag!
Yay! I do like the segment. Okay, so on hashtag Be Social Media Savvy with me, I wanted to talk about the different messaging formats through social media. You know, there's a lot of messaging wars going on, and a lot of people do use messaging through this as opposed to just text, and we know how this has gone crazy, especially with like WhatsApp and that being acquired recently, and Tango and all of these things. People like connecting in different ways, whether it's video, whether it's, you know, mini videos, whatever it is. So we wanted to kind of talk about these 5 major aspects of messaging and which one do you think is the best, why, all that stuff. And I do want you guys to chime in on which one you guys use. So we're going to jump into the first one, which is Vine. So if you guys use Vine, all of these are done mobilely. So all of the images you see are the way that they're shown on your mobile app. So we're just going to go over the pros and cons of each and kind of the best way to use each one. But the pros for Vine, you know, everybody knows that Vine takes little snippets of video and you kind of combine it and put it together. So it's kind of, they've got some awesome videos and those usually pull it first, and they got some really crappy ones. So it just depends on what you use it for. But the pros are you can, you know, when you message someone, you can include an actual Vine video production with the stop motion and all the grid lines and stuff. You can send it as a text or a video message, and you can really send it to people who are not on the Vine, which is great because a lot of people really have not jumped onto the Vine. Does anybody here use Vine, by the way?
Nope.
No, nobody?
I've used it, Janelle,
Martin.
but I haven't. It's not my regular place, but I have used it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin says he uses
Juliana
it.
says no. We've got some yeses. We got no. Yeah, John, I'm with you. I watch it just to see the funny stuff. I've made maybe 2 videos. It's kind of dumb. But anyways, I do like watching all the ones of those who are much more creative than I am. Now, the cons with messaging through the Vine is that you can't create group messages. You can't send still images. It's only for videos. That's what the Vine is. And you can't send videos from a camera roll. So the best reason to use this really is if you're sending a creative video. So even as students and stuff, you guys could totally use this for some of your projects to make something quick and cute. And I hope Phyllis didn't hear me say that. But anyways, this really has some great little ways to put together videos really quick, very short ones. Now, the next thing is Instagram. I love some Instagram. So, and by the way, a lot of these pros and cons are very similar to why you would actually use them in general. So Instagram, the pros to doing this. I love the first one. It's adding filters to photos or videos. We love having our filters, and they've done full YouTube songs, you know, just making fun of the fact that we use, you know, filters. So you can also send a text and or video messages, so you can send it like that. You can also do a group message. That's my phone, sorry. You can send existing photos and videos from your camera roll. Now, the bad thing is that you can't message people outside of Instagram, so it is a little bit limiting. Don says it sucks because everyone can see who you sent the message to. Not in a direct one. And the group message is limited to 15 people, and photos, they've got to be cropped as a square. This is also the bad thing. So especially if you're taking an image and you got something really long, you've got to cut it down so that you can. Oh, it does show? Yeah, the direct one is private. Because I think there's discussion going on in the chat right now that's saying that everybody can see it. But no, if you're direct messaging anybody, it's directly to that person. So everything else that you post is available unless you make it private. Now, the best way to use Instagram is if you're sending those artsy pictures or videos with filters. But to be honest, sometimes I'll just send those directly to who I want to after filtering them through Instagram. So you can do it either way. Another thing is the Facebook Messenger. I think this is the one that most of us probably use. I don't really use it on my phone as much as I use it on my computer. So I guess that's kind of odd. But the Facebook Messenger, I guess the pros to doing this is that you can send it to an individual, but you can also create group messages. I've actually seen invitations. I've sent invitations just doing the group messages like this, as opposed to sending an actual event created. You can save your favorite ones or your often used groups so that you can use them for the future. So it kind of helps remember it. Same thing as your text messages if you have iPhones. Free phone calls to Facebook friends using Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool, especially if they've got other, what do you call them, providers. And you can send photos from your camera roll. So that's pretty cool. Now the cons is that you can't send video messages. So for that, go to Instagram or go to the Vine. You can't take pictures through the app, so you've got to download them, or you've got to get out of there, take the picture, and then upload it into Facebook. And you can't filter the photos, not for the direct messages. You can do that for your regular Facebook, but not for that. And people who are not on Facebook cannot message you because they like to keep everything right there on there. So the best use, you guys all kind of know this, is because it helps you connect with Facebook friends, especially when you've lost all your phone numbers. I'm telling you, this has been my lifesaver. I'm like, wow, okay, it saves. Well, if whoever has it uploaded their phone numbers on Facebook, it helps you reconnect all of that stuff. So, and it helps you send out a blast. And I hate those that, hey guys, I've lost my phone. Can you text me your phone number? So that's always a good reason to use this.
We love when you do that, you know?
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. I'm like, just wait for me to text you. That means I care. So Twitter is the next one. Well, I love Twitter. This is a very limiting way to do a direct message. The pros are that you can send your text messages or a picture message. You can take pictures through your app, or you can send it, and they do allow you to filter. So Twitter's trying to compete with Facebook and Instagram, so obviously they'll let you filter stuff. The con is that you really can't create group messages. If you want to send something through Twitter, you've got to send it just to one person. You can't send videos, and you can only send messages to people who follow you, and you can only receive them from people who follow you. Again, it's a little restrictive, and again, the messages, they're only limited to 140 characters. Very Twitterish. Yeah, we're getting to Snapchat. Hold on. All right, the next one. Okay, sorry. And the reason you would want to use that is basically just continuing like a Twitter exchange in private. But because it's limited, I've had conversations. I'm like, why don't we just take this out of Twitter? This is getting ridiculous because you're so limited as to what you can write. But now we're going to get to Snapchat, and this is our last and final one. I do not like Snapchat. I don't even have it, but I've seen it, and I mean, well, okay, so the pros, we know that the messages disappear, so you can send anything you want. Now, you can send pictures or video messages. You can draw or doodle on messages or include a type message, and it can save snaps for 24 hours if you want. What are the cons? Your messages disappear. So don't send stuff that don't send stuff that you want to save or that you want to have access to later, because only the owners of Snapchat have all of your messages forever. The cons are also people can grab your images, and they will. Believe me, they will. They will screenshot it on their phones. They're not stupid. And the text is limited, so you can't fit more than 78 characters, usually fewer, so it's even less than Twitter. You can only send text-only messages, or you cannot send text-only, and you can't create ongoing group messages. So the best reason you would want to use this. Oh, and Martin says you can now save videos that are sent to you as well. You know, so the best use for doing this is sending goofy or inappropriate photos and videos. I don't think that's the best use of this because it'll always bite you in the butt. Like I said, one of the cons is that people can definitely grab your images as you send them before they disappear. So I like Donovan. He says it's scandalous. But anyways, that is the final way you can message using social media. So these are the top messaging wars that people are kind of battling out. Which one do they think is the best? I don't care. Use whichever one you think is going to be best for you. So those are the options, pros and cons. Which one do you guys like the most? I see all of these different things going on. Mm-hmm.
I am so glad you brought up Snapchat because this has been an ongoing sort of debate, I would say, more than a discussion. There's a little more tension in it than a discussion. With my daughter, who's 20, who loves Snapchat. And so we've gone back and forth about Snapchat. Yeah. So it's nice to hear from from an expert. And then, you know, I can hear from students, too, to help me understand about Snapchat. And I'm sure there are many Snapchats she and her friends are sending each other that they're not showing me. I'm
right.
not stupid.
That's what it is.
Know, I know.
Shannon says Tyler loves it too.
Yeah, so there you go. So
I'll tell you, it's the younger demographic that loves it.
Yeah, so and it's fine. I mean, she'll send me some, and it's like, oh, cute, but it's almost like frustrating because I don't, I'm like, well, wait, let me see that again, and it's gone. Well, so anyway, but I just wondered what, if anybody could help me understand about. I think it's just. it's just the experience of it, I think, that's fun for them.
And it's just, there's not a lot of pressure. You don't feel that it's stuck in people's head. Like, if you mess up on Twitter, I mean, we talked about that U.S. Airway one.
True.
Once it's there, guess what? All these
people
were able to grab it. James Franco is now in the heat because he's rumored to respond to an Instagram flirtation with a 17-year-old. Now, she was not from the States, but guess what? It was long enough on Twitter that he posted something, and when by the time he took it down, are you kidding me? Everybody kind of took a screenshot of that, because even on Twitter it'll last longer than you want. Well, when it comes to something like Snapchat, you can say something stupid or take a picture of something stupid and it'll disappear, or so you think. I mean, I'm sure that.
Well, that's the other thing is like,
for college students, basically.
That's the other discussion point was like, okay, I just can't believe that it's completely obliterated from the universe. So
of course,
it's not. It is not. I will say that right now.
No
Nothing.
way.
Everything you put on there is in there. It's in cyberspace forever. And if someone wanted to really access it, they can.
Yes.
So
exactly.
That's what worries me. I think kids are making a few dumb Snapchats and they're putting it out there thinking no one will ever see them, and they don't know on the other side who is picked up on this, or if they send something inappropriate to a guy that they really like, and he's gonna totally take that picture and save it. So
exactly.
Just watch out what you guys do.
Just watch yourself
on social media.
So Martin, you're saying I think Snapchat most certainly hits its demographic. What do you mean by that? Let me hear more about that. Oh, if you are grab Clayson's mic.
Juliana's saying she loves her moleskin. She's going old school.
She's like, what's moleskin? I can't. What is this moleskin I hear of? What is this pen and paper?
Is that a new app?
All right. Hello?
Yeah, Martin.
Listen to stuff too slow. This doesn't have. All right.
There it is.
What is going on in that class?
Yes. So what I meant by saying that is when Janelle said that all the younger generation use it, I think that's what they wanted in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
And create that hype among the younger generation. So
I see what you're saying. Right.
Did that successfully because a lot more people use it now.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot more people use it.
Yeah.
And it's true. And what happened was I also noticed a trend that, Facebook was the younger teens. I mean, they're still on Facebook, but not as much.
Right.
A lot of them straight turned to, they left Facebook to turn to Snapchat because, there's things that are more regrettable on Facebook that, your parents can see them now. You've got your grandparents on Facebook, for goodness sakes. You got all these people with Snapchat. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of kids that are doing sexting and stuff. So it's easier to do that through Snapchat than it is through a typical text or through Facebook or something like that as a direct message. So unfortunately, that's what it's for. And Martin's right. They knew exactly what they were doing when they created it. I just think it's shady if you want something deleted that quick. So unless it's like a wedding dress and it's a secret and you don't want anybody to see it. See, I'm trying to think that this is what they want to post.
That's gotta
but it's not.
It's just for wedding.
That's not what it is.
So I have a question. How are they monetizing it? What are they doing? Is it, because does it have ads, or what are they using?
You know what? I'm not sure, but I know
the purchase was insanely big, right? That Facebook spent a lot of money on it.
You know what? Facebook also spent a lot of money on Instagram before they monetized that. So I'm thinking that they're going to eventually do something. You Vine users or Snapchat users, you may want to chime in. I'm sure that there's a way that they're going to do that if they haven't already, because Twitter took them a while before they were able to really monetize on it. And they did it with little ads that come in every once in a while, and you can close them out. Facebook, we all see every single second how they monetize. But sometimes these have to, they get big followings, but it take a little bit before they actually generate a profit, just because it's usually when they sell, and then from there they're trying to redirect things. So when Facebook buys it doesn't always have to have ads or anything. It just kind of starts linking all of their stuff together to create this completely crazy social media empire. So I'm not quite sure how Vine monetizes at this point. I mean Snapchat.
Okay, so I just texted my daughter. Why do you use Snapchat?
That's a great. I want to hear her response.
And I probably should have used some other messaging, than just texting, but like sent her a Vine or something. But she says I use it because to show people what I'm doing with images. There you go.
Okay. So, and what is she doing with images?
Well, no, she's saying no. I don't think she means it like that. I think she means that, so instead of having to type something or instead of having to write something, I can just, like, they're like, what are you doing?
Oh,
And
show
here you
it
go.
real quick what
I'm
she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, that makes
to share. Okay.
John says she's being nice for mom and
Yeah,
don't
I
ask
know.
questions you
I
don't
know.
want the answer to.
I know. Well, she doesn't know she's on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she doesn't know
says,
John.
She says to share.
She
yeah.
doesn't know John, yeah.
And I adore you, John, but she's not going to know you.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good idea, and I want to believe that that's the case. I hope every single person who uses Snapchat uses it just like Kate does.
Well, and she's saying to share a real life experience in as little as 10 seconds. Do you guys buy that?
And John is not buying that at all.
John's not buying it.
Martin, what about you? Okay, I guess Martin agrees.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway.
I guess not. Yeah, Snapchat's not something I like talking about on Be Social Media Savvy. As, what is it over here? Pete decided to say this is what did you say, Pete?
Oh, I just said go mom, but before that I said moral.
No, before that.
No, be social media.
The moral Be Social Media Savvy.
Savvy.
I'm not here to be your morality police.
right.
I just do not like Snapchat
She's
for
very
obvious
good about
reasons.
that. Yeah. Well, great conversation, Janelle. Thank you.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
thanks, guys.
This was even
Stay
more
safe on social
scandalous
media,
than that
please.
affair. Wow.
That's right. Worse than the United Airlines one.
Crazy. All right.
And that is Be Social Media Savvy with Janelle. Yay! Thank you guys.
Well, the best. And I think that brings us to our other most famous segment, Bum Bum
Woo
Bum,
woo!
direct from the Tool Time Institute.
Yeah.
There he is.
We are busy here at the Tool Time. You know, I gotta say, Janelle, what a great segment. Just so great to see. Kathy, I'm there with you from the mom, parent angle. So that was just great.
Yeah,
and
right.
and the moral is be social media savvy. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so well titled.
Right?
So
Absolutely.
I love it. That was just awesome. Okay, well, cool. We have a couple of really cool apps. So let's get started. Let's see what the Tool Time lady is asking this week. Oh gosh, let's see. There are so many productivity apps. Which one should I buy for the student in my family? Oh my goodness. Well, let's see if we can answer that one. Let's flip ahead and first have a little discussion real quick about productivity apps. Yeah, there's hundreds of them. I would tend to think we got to be pushing towards the 1,000 mark at this point. There are so many productivity apps out there, and I have to make a confession. Some of them don't make me productive. I wrestle with them. I'm like, okay, this is how you think I should be productive, but you never asked me how I need to be productive.
So true.
Oh my gosh, I wrestle with these apps. So I found two that are kind of interesting for our students, and one of them kind of bleeds into the whole parent side of things, which is kind of cool. So yeah, here we go. 2 hard truths about productivity apps. Productivity apps don't make you productive unless they sync across devices. Now, you have a phone, a smartphone. You have a tablet. You have a laptop, right? You have all these devices, and you just want to be able to be on one of them and still see your content, right? Because that's what really makes us productive. So that's the first hard truth about productivity apps. Let's get to the second one. And the second hard truth about productivity apps, sometimes the best productivity apps are specific to a certain purpose. So for example, we're going to use one this week, student productivity, right? Versus just a regular productivity app. So let's bounce to the first one. Now what I mean by just productivity is, okay, you guys might have some sort of app for taking notes, right? And so you just sort of think, okay, this is a cool one. I take notes with it, but I really wish it would record things that are specific to my classes and to being a student. So there's two that we want to look at this week that are specific, that will help make you productive. The first one is, I think it's called iStudy EZ Pro instead of iStudies or something. And then In Class is the other one. And these two, I put versus, because these two are battling it out, and it is really great. We're the winners when two companies are battling it out to give us the most functionality in these. So let's jump into our first one, and it's iStudyEZ. Now this one is the heavyweight so far. This one, let me share a couple of things. In 2009, best app ever in education. That's pretty big. 2010, best parenting app. 2010, best young adults app. And look at these awards. I didn't even know they all existed. And then 2011, best college student app. So we're in 2014, so these things have really kind of progressed and matured down the road. They've got more functionality. And so what I want to tell you about iStudyEZ Pro is that this thing gives you just a ton of functionality. Smart summaries basically shows all the events you have for the current day, even a real-time mode. There's assignment reviews, right? So it allows you to manage all your homework and assignments, sort them by date, so on and so forth. There's iCal integration. There's a schedule planner. It syncs in the cloud. Hooray, hooray. And there's notifications and badges, obviously, with these types of apps, right? They're not just free for a reason. And then, but your grades and GPA are in there. There's an interactive calendar. And it is localized into more than 25 languages. So these guys are serious about it. The second one is In Class. Now, In Class basically sorts all of your classes for every semester, just like iStudyEZ. It keeps a history of your semester, so you can go back and view them, right? Especially if you're in like MCBS and you're like, oh yeah, what was going on back in my month 3 class, right? So it all sorts all of your notes, pictures, videos, voice notes. You know, both of these do that, but it's kind of nice to know you can record things and have audio and video in there embedded, as well as upcoming tasks. So it's a pretty good app. Now, here's the thing that I really like about both of these apps. In the way that they connect to social media, you can actually, like if you missed a class, which I know none of our MCBS students would ever dream of missing a class, but let's just say that you did, this totally, you can actually share your notes across social media and say, hey, here's what we went over in class today. So there's sort of this, you know, kind of on the fly, you know, functionality. And that's the way that these apps should work. Productivity apps should work alongside of the way you're living every day so that they're just easy to employ, easy to open up and go do things. So those are the two apps I want to tell you guys about this week. There's free versions of them. Even the paid versions, I think, are just like $1.99, really inexpensive. And for those of you that really want to organize all this stuff, finally, centered around your education, these are the two biggies that you really need to take a look at. I'm not sure if they are in the Android marketplace. I'm so sorry, I didn't check. It looks like they're just in the iOS iOS store, App Store. But hey, two apps worth looking into that sync across your devices to make you productive. So let's see what our last screen is here. I don't know if I threw anything else up in there. This is just a screen to show you that when you click on things on these websites, they're very, very good. They're very interactive. They start to show you, let's flip one more. I don't know if I got a shot of it here. It might be my last screen, but let's see. Yeah, there it is. These things will open up and actually show you what they look like. So that's just a picture of your calendar in iStudyEZ. So both websites really go into the, a great level of granularity. They really zoom in to show you what these things are going to look like before you actually download them. So I highly recommend you go to those sites and give it a try. Yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
Let's go to our recap screen then. Are there anything?
Yeah, we actually have
chat, by the way, while
we've got somebody in the chat. Donovan says he uses it. Donovan, do you want to chat
Donovan,
with us a little bit about it? He's been using iStudyEZ.
iStudyEZ. So Donovan, how do you like it? Can you jump on the mic real quick?
He's running.
He's coming. He's walking.
Yay.
We just know it. Robert and I see it in our minds. He's in the class. He's almost there.
Go, Donovan. He's sliding head first. He's safe.
Yeah, we all know Donovan's way too laid back for that, probably.
Okay, here we go.
There he is.
Hey, Donovan.
Yeah.
There you are. So yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you've been putting in the chat. If you could tell us a little bit about your experience for those, because on the recording and the archive there won't be the chat window. So I'd love for you to share what you've been talking about.
I Study Easy is a pretty cool app. It's about $3. It tells you a whole schedule. Yeah.
Now, are you sharing? I'm sorry, Donovan. Are you sharing any kind of this? Are you kind of sharing things with someone else who has the app, or do you kind of feel like you're on an island just using it by yourself right now?
I'm not quite sure. It's yeah, I'm not quite sure, but it's a pretty cool app. When you put all your data in your laptop, it syncs into your phone automatically. You put your grades in after each assignment. And you also could. It actually works with Full Sail's FSO. I can export my entire calendar and all my assignments from FSO directly into the app.
Oh wow!
And it notifies me with all my assignments.
Cool.
That's nice.
I can input my grades.
Awesome.
How long have you been using it, Donovan?
I've been using it from August.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Of last year.
Nice.
Cool.
How did you hear about it?
Wow.
In high school, I sucked at writing down my assignments and stuff. So when I came in August, I was looking for an app that helped me, and that was one of them.
Nice.
Terrific.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, there you have it. Yeah. From an end user. There we go. Thanks, Donovan. That's it's so good to hear that you're like actually using it months after you downloaded it, and that's a good sign that it's probably one worth looking into. So again, I Study Easy Pro versus In Class. You can check both of them out. Both on the App Store. Both sync across devices, and the skinny is also that it boils down to features and interface and the interface for you. Whatever you're the most comfortable with, whatever has the features that really play to the way that you live, there you go. So till next time, the parting thought, cross-device is always nice. And I totally violated a rule of graphic design by not having my inset margin enough inside my cloud. So take some points off, those of you that are in my graphic design class, for the inset margin. And that's it from...
He was just testing you.
Tool time.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. All right, there you go.
I'm going to give Pete a pass on that one, since this slide has been passed across several different platforms. I think we had a missing font. So
that is true.
I think we have a safe zone here. You're good. I'm sure you're
the old missing font. Okay.
Yes. That's it. Yeah. Did not transfer.
All right, so that brings us to the conclusion of the Media Communications BS Hour. Thank you for joining us on our trademark thrilling journey to the heart of the media communications industry. We will see you again next Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Renee.
Enjoy your week.
Way to go, Renee.
Bye-bye.
Boom.
We're out.